Hi everyone. I'm going to show you how you can set up or use example of an LMS like Talent LMS. So Talent LMS is a example of a potential mobile app enabled platform that you can use to build a prototype. So you go to Talent LMS, search for it on Google, and then you can log in or sign up for a free account. So when you sign up, you will have, of course, a specified domain for yourself. So I'm going to just go straight ahead into my domain and account that I've created beforehand. So what you have here is the login into my own account. So I will log in with my own account. And I'll be brought into Talent LMS. So I go to the administrator dashboard. And then from here, I go to courses, just follow my mouse. And under courses, I go to technical training that you can see highlighted here. And once I'm in, I go to the bottom right and go to course content. So here you see an example of a sample technical training 101 course that I've created on Talent LMS. So here you can see that there are a number of modules that I have created. And of course, originally it will be completely empty, but this I've already filled it up. So what we can do here is use this function here on called the add. So if you click on that, you see there are a variety of content and activities that you can create on Talent LMS. So there's a variety of them, right? From content, video, presentation, test, survey, you can do assignment, you can set up a Zoom instructor-led training, and so on. So here, what I've done is I've created sections, right? And I call them modules. This is a way for me to organize the material. So if you can see here, what you do in order to create a section is you scroll down and you can add. What you do is you click add and you choose a section, right? Okay, so it's over here, section, right at the bottom. So if you click that, it will produce an empty section, which you see here, section 12. And from here, you can click on change name. And you can simply rename it to the name of the module that you want, right? Or the section that you want. So in this case, I call it module 13. And if you don't want it, you can delete it. And once I've created a section, I can then insert various content into the various modules or sections, as you see here. So the first module, I call it orientation. And what you can see, the type of the content is actually a content. Okay, you see the mouse and it shows it's a content. So what it is just simply text. If I go inside, you can see that, right? It is really just text for me to do a bit of a welcome text and giving me them my support contact. So let's come back out. And module 2, I've added in other content and activities. So here you see that the first one is a presentation, right? So presentation. Second one is a video that I want to watch. And the third one is a little quiz or a test that I give them. So in LMS, in Talent LMS, they call it a test, but I just simply rename it to quiz. So where you can find this again is under add, right? You can see the video, presentation, and test that I've used as my content for module 2. What you see here, as you go down, you see the next one, module 3, instructor-led training, and then we have some content. I've added in some to ask them to go to a discussion on Google Classroom. So if we look at that, we see that this is just simply text, and I add in a link in there where for the learner, when they see this, it will be a link. And when they click on it, they will go to a Google Classroom and from there the Google Classroom, they can participate in the group discussion. So in this example, what I've done is I have integrated the Google Classroom into the Talent LMS. So, so the learner can go to Google Classroom to have their discussion. Now, this is one way of doing it. So another way of doing it is you do the discussion within Talent LMS, and I'm going to show you that where it is later on. So moving on in Module 4, we have other content like survey, which is a reflection that I rename as reflection. We have a case study, which is actually a presentation. And we have an assignment, right, which I've changed it to submit your answer to the case study. So if you look at reflection, for example, if you go in, you see that it's really just a set of questions that you can insert, and they can then respond, right, to the question that you have added in here. So in essence, what it has is that they have a variety of content and activities that you can create or curate in this particular course itself. Now, earlier I talked about the discussion, right? And where can we find this if you want to do the discussion within Talent LMS itself? So to do that, you have to go out to the higher level. So you go to click on Home, what you see here, Home. And then on the Home, you can see that there is a discussion function here, right? And from here, we can add discussion. So if we go into discussion, we can see that here I've added in sample discussion questions. So let's look at one of them. So I title it, give it a title, what the discussion is about, and then I put the discussion question here. Please share your best practices about this issue, how to resolve it. And then the learners can comment on it. And all this discussion can be captured in Talent LMS. So this is the way they have built the discussion function within Talent LMS as a higher level on the hierarchy at this home page level. So to go back to the technical training course itself, you just click on that and it'll bring you back. Now the other thing to note is that, of course, what we're seeing here is that this is the edit mode, the editor screen, right? And on the editing screen, you can see that at the top, you can choose your role. So if you are an instructor, you are doing all the editing activities and creation of all the content, right? So that's what you use. For the learner, if you want to be a learner, you just click on learner and you can see that now you have switched roles to be the learner. And then as a learner, if you go into the technical training over here, you see that they go straight into the content itself, depending on where they last completed. So to get an overview of the course, they can click on this, right? And here you can see that module 1 and 2 is kind of partly completed, and they can see all the rest of the modules that they're supposed to do over here. So this is the user screen or the learner screen. So let's go back and as instructor, we come back. And there's of course another role as an administrator. An administrator is a different role where you can of course add users, right? You can add users and enroll them into this course. All right. So so this is how it works. So here I have created a test user. So let's look at what the users I've created. So I've created John Doe, as a possible user, right? So so let's try and log in from a John Doe perspective, right? You can of course go to Talent LMS and try to log in as the user in this case. So let me see if I can use a different browser for this. So Talent LMS. And let's just log in as John Doe. Let me see if I remember the password. So I'm logging on to the domain, the LMS that was created by TSAPS31, and I'm logging in as a user. Okay, so I've got the wrong password. Let me see if I can remember. Joe, password is JDoe. Okay, so let's try again. JDOE, and I'm in. So I'm now logging in as the user, right? And then I have access to this particular course, as you can see. So I click on it and I can see, I'll go straight into their content, right? So from here, you can see where I am. I can, of course, go back to orientation and it comes back up again. All right, so that's how we log in as the user. So here is just a brief overview of how you can create content and make use of this LMS platform to build your prototype.